Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. And this calm tenor and this smooth demeanor belies my sheer goddamn elation that Hit Row experienced vindication less than a week away from the celebration of the birth of this horrid nation. Swerve is your new North American champion. Oh my God, it sounds so good, doesn't it? It sounds so goddamn perfect. And we'll talk plenty about that because we celebrate and we stand Swerve and Hit Row in this house. But there was also an hour 45 other stuff of programming. And on the whole, I'd say, because we were off last week, this show wasn't bad. The Gargano cross stuff is a bit weird because it actually seems like Gargano is coming across more of the babyface, just judging by the crowd. Really concerned about the receptions MSK has been getting because I've noticed it wasn't just a one-time thing. I almost have to wonder if NXT should maybe turn them heel soon. Tian Shaw continues to be intriguing. Diamond Mine, color me a fan. Anything against Malcolm Bivens on my TV. And that women's triple threat tag team normal contendership match, pretty hot opener to start the show. So I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this NXT a solid 6.5 or maybe even a 7. Get a nice even number in there. So, Ash, how'd you feel about NXT tonight?
I think a 7 is appropriate, maybe even a 7.5 just because of the ending. I'm going to just say it right now, dude. I kind of hinted at this in the Discord. I told you I was going to say this before we went live. This NXT featured one of the best decisions they've ever made and some of the worst at the same time on completely different ends of the spectrum in a way. The thing is, 80% of this NXT was good to great. 5% of it was tolerable, and then 15% of it was god-awful. Actually just terrible.
Well, we talk about the god-awful specifically in our first segment, Heat of the Night. Man, my social media popping off about Hit Row, but patience, everyone, patience. Brother, I'm going to let you have this segment because I really don't have any complaints, maybe a few nitpicks here and there, but you know what? It feels like it would take up needless space here when I can mention them in passing during the actual segment, so you take it away.
Okay, I'm going to do the simpler one first. I hate that Xia Li is still sloppy enough that she legitimately knocked Mercedes Martinez the fuck out and got rewarded for it with a win.
Was that a legit knockout or was that a really good sell? Can you say that with any kind of authority?
She got knocked the fuck out. Dude, you gotta realize if it was a really good sell, she wouldn't have kicked out. She kicked out on fucking instinct, and then the ref had to call the match.
Right.
She was fucking out.
Yeah, it's a shame, too, because I was even going to say that I like that kick better than the kick that Xia has been doing, but not if she's legitimately hurting people. You know how we feel about that. So, oof, I really didn't know what to make of that, but that actually makes a lot of sense. It's not good. It's not good.
Xia Li that fucked up Vanessa Bourne that one time, too?
She might be.
Like broke her jaw or something like that?
She might be, I'm not sure.
Like Aaliyah was like all pissed off about it on social media and stuff? When it was bougie?
Yeah, I honestly can't speak about that with any authority, but I'll take your word for it. So, yeah, that's not good, especially when you're in the kind of spot that she's in.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to me that someone has been wrestling. Because, dude, you got to realize, Xia Li, she only has one less year of experience than Tam Nakano. She's been wrestling. Yeah. She's been wrestling for a year longer than Utami. Like she's been doing this for 4 years now. There's no excuse for her to still be this goddamn sloppy.
There really isn't. And you know, I've tried to defend Xia on here. I've tried to be an advocate, give her the benefit of the doubt. I was psyched for her program with Mercedes because it's like, oh, let's see what she can really do. But this has got to be the final straw, though, because I really don't tolerate. I didn't tolerate it when it was consummate pros like O'Reilly and Finn. If I can call it out for them, I can call it out for Zaya. You shouldn't be rewarded, and you shouldn't like glorify by assimilating it with a character and promotional material or whatever when you genuinely hurt a coworker. I hated when Finn and O'Reilly got match of the year. I thought that was really ridiculous. It was inept, and I didn't have any patience for it. And so you making me aware of this, because I'll be honest, I was a bit, confused. I'm like, was it a really good sell? And Mercedes was just showing how tough she is, and the ref intervened or what? But with it being a genuine, like, no, I messed her up, I've got to call that out. We got to be consistent. That was incredibly irresponsible. And, again, this is coming from somebody, I feel like I've been very generous with Zaya on the podcast. But when you're in there, you've got to protect the other person. I mean, that's non-fucking negotiable. That's why I even hate when people give people that have notoriously been dangerous, like, oh, they've gotten better by not hurting people. That should be like the first thing you fucking learn, is protecting the person you're in the ring with. So, yeah, I've got no patience for it, and I totally understand why you'd want to air that out here. But what else? What else you got?
The only other really big heat of the night, and this is just because I'm trying to avoid being repetitive by shitting on LA Knight. Just kind of leave him alone, ignore him. But my other heat of the night is too horrible for me to overlook. Too horrible, even though it is another repetitive one, for me to just ignore, like the LA Knight shit. Fuck Karrion Kross. Fuck the way that he's being portrayed. Fuck the fact that this dude got a goddamn car door slammed on him. How many times? One time was enough to take Pete Dunne out for like a month. And this dude got one slammed on him about 5 or 6 times, and he fucking no-sells it and proceeds to choke Johnny out and then threaten to run him over with his car. Fuck everything about both of the Gargano Kross segments that happened tonight. I hate everything about this shit.
All right. Well, like you said, avoid being repetitive. I have nothing novel to offer the discourse. So is there anything else on your roster tonight?
I don't have anything else, but that is legit. Seriously, to me, the Gargano Kross segments tonight were 2 of the worst segments in NXT history.
I think
to me, you're going out of your way to bury your number 1 contender. What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah. I mean, again, no arguments for me, nothing really novel. I will say the only thing that made these bearable is just to see how over Johnny's gotten. It's like he's completed the circle now. Because I feel like even just him alone, I don't want to count the rest of the way, because I feel like Candice specifically is doing a great job remaining a heel, because, she's kind of manipulating Indy's love life behind the scenes and all that stuff, and she clearly cares more about the title than about, like, the quote-unquote family aspect of the way. But Johnny as an individual, I think he's done the whole freaking journey, and he's back to being a babyface, at least slowly. Certainly in this program, he is the definitive babyface.
Dude, I was getting into Johnny's shit too. Like he assaults Kross outside. The whole, like, actually there were 3, now that I think about it. There were 3 segments with Gargano and Kross. One of them that I forgot about was early on in the night, where Gargano was talking shit to Kross and then said, "I'm smarter than you," and then Theory attacked Kross from behind. Kross got the upper hand there too. Kross got the upper hand all 3 times that Johnny managed to outsmart and sneak attack him tonight, and it made Johnny look like an absolute punk. Johnny, in the 3rd one in the parking lot, slams the car door on Kross, like I said, 5 or 6 times, starts cutting a promo to the camera, and Kross fucking rises from the dead like he's Finn goddamn Balor, fuck yourself, and chokes Johnny out. Like, I was actually getting into Johnny's little promo that he was starting to cut there. I was like, oh damn, this is some Raven shit. He's cutting a promo while the guy that he just assaulted is right behind him. This is cool as hell. No. Kross won't allow it. He's not going to let anyone else get their shit in. He needs to get his shit in. So he does the fucking Kross jacket. I hate everything about this entire storyline. And really, it is 100% on the end of Karrion Kross's presentation. He's being presented as a literal unstoppable monster that fucking Will Ospreay and New Japan would even be jealous of, and it is pathetic.
I know I said I had nothing novel to add to the discussion, and that is mostly true. I would just like to add, if I may, that given the talents that have been on Main Event and stuff, and given Vince at the Performance Center, I really do hope. Honestly, I'm like, oh, he should always go out on his back, this and that. I honestly hope. I don't even really give a shit anymore. Let Kross vacate the title. Let him go up, hopefully, to Raw. And why I say Raw, you and I don't watch that show at all. So we would never have to talk about Karrion Kross again. Go to Raw, feud with McIntyre, feud with Lashley. I don't care. Because I will say this, I 100% co-signed to everything you said.
Did you see the entrance he had on Main Event?
I'm going to answer you as honestly as I can. I didn't see it. I just saw stills from it, and oof, even that was enough to be like, you really are a smoke and mirrors type competitor. Like, he really is like another Charlotte, I think, where it's like all in the presentation because there's no substance when the bell rings.
Dude, the thing is, I think Charlotte could come out with no music and feel more magnetic and have more presence than Cross does. Cross came off as a complete jobber on Main Event.
Yeah, he seemed like one of those create-a-wrestler templates you start out with when you boot the video game up for the first time.
Yeah, really. Like, you know me, I will avoid giving Charlotte credit at any opportunity. I swear to God, she comes off as more of a superstar than Cross does.
And I need to put that, I don't need to put that in perspective with this particular audience because I feel like everybody in the chat has been a lifelong listener of TWitWoW. But for those new, when Ashton gives Charlotte credit relative to anyone, that person is fucked. Like, I don't even know what to say to Cross that would even top that. But what I will say, just to finish my side of things, because you did, approach this discussion, I'm glad you did, the more I think about it. The problem with Cross's title reign, I don't mind dominant title reigns. I feel like they handled Asuka very well up until the end, because again, I do think she should have gone out on her back, because we know the streak ultimately would be ended by Charlotte. Fuck that, it was gross, whatever. But the thing about Asuka was that she was compelling. And she was never a try-hard about how compelling she was. With the snarling and all this and that.
Well,
she had a natural...
The thing is, like, she is a try-hard in the sense that she puts a lot of effort into being entertaining.
Well, yeah. Yeah, like, when I think try-hard, it's like, oh, nobody buys me as this, so I've got to really inflate it, and then maybe I can make myself believe on this. With Asuka, it comes very natural. She tries hard
at being entertaining. Cross tries hard at being intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, we can say what we want. I've got a lot to say about this man when we get to the relevant segment, but Adam Cole is 100% right about carrying Cross.
Yes!
That's why,
Never before, the only other time that I can think of in WWE history that they have allowed somebody to bury their own top guy in the most honest way possible was Cena burying Reigns on the mic.
Yeah. And at least Reigns had the ability to bounce back, and he's on the best run of his goddamn career, including promos. Yeah. I don't think Cross has that same ability. And the one thing I want to punctuate this with, because again, I didn't expect us to have this discussion. I know we said we'd avoid repetition, but I feel like we're keeping it fresh. The problem with a guy like Cross relative to Asuka, who I look at as the paradigm, and hell, the original paradigm being like a Goldberg, they have to manufacture that aura. It's not included. And I feel like with Asuka was included, with Goldberg, coming from NFL, stuff like that. Yeah, they had to put a little bit into him, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he was able to carry it. He had very broad shoulders in that sense. Cross, to me, he doesn't have that. And because they're manufacturing it and because they're positioning him in a certain way, there's no interest in any title fight. Like, even Asuka, with how dominant she is, you could look at some of her oppositions, the fact that she was in Fatal 4-Ways or whatever, and be like, oh, well, they could protect Asuka this way, or this one really seems like they're on the come-up. They could beat Asuka. I don't have any of that. Like, he was just in a Fatal 5-Way as, like, his first big defense. You and I, there was no question that Cross was retaining. And that's 4 people he's defending against. Yeah. Like, that's nuts to not even have the question of, oh, could Cole win or could O'Reilly pull out the upset? You and I never doubted it. And then, like, I will 100% own that I can waffle hard. And even I'm just like, no, Cross is retaining. There's no intrigue here. There's nothing compelling. And the thing is, if Johnny was able to lay him out, to circle it back to one of your points so that we don't lose the thread, if he was able to lay Cross out and cut that promo and the camera would have panned to Cross down and Scarlett checking on him, I would have been like, oh, Cross is still probably retaining, but at least you could have planted a little seedling of doubt. You couldn't even give me that. So, like, the garden is just totally barren. Like, Cross is retaining. Is
Cross Gargano one-on-one happening at Great American Bash next week?
They never formally announced it, so I'm assuming not. I don't know how much further the next takeover is from Bash.
I'm assuming the next takeover is in, like, August, probably. Like, maybe, a week before or after SummerSlam, if I had to guess.
Have they been doing takeovers every month now, or is it still, like, every quarter?
Well, no, they alternate. 1 month they'll do a takeover, and then the next month they'll do a big TV special. So we're getting Great American Bash next week. That's the July thing. Then August will probably be a takeover. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay. Yeah, then I don't know how you drag this out to August, because I already want it to be over. And we're not even in July yet.
You're fucked. You're not wrong.
Wow. All right. All right. That's all I had to say. Is there anything you want to add?
I'm sorry, it's just so funny how like poignant what you just said was.
Yeah. No,
How do
it's
you drag
really
this out
bad.
to August? I already want it to be over. That's like peak Dragon Man. End this fuck.
And dude, I'll tell you, the biggest victim of this really is Gargano, because like I feel like he's been working his ass off the
But
last
you know
several
what
months.
though?
And,
I
like,
will say, even though he's getting buried from a credibility standpoint, he is putting on some very entertaining shit. Like, literally, 2 of the 3 times that we saw these 2 interact tonight, Gargano's promos were fun as hell.
yeah, and I gotta say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, like, I actually tolerated, and I'll even confess, maybe even enjoyed a little bit Austin Theory when they were escaping in the parking lot. And I think he said it about Gargano's super kick. That was the best super kick I've ever seen. Like, I want somebody to believe in me as unconditionally as Austin Theory believes in Johnny Gargano. Because god damn, he's the quintessential fanboy. It's amazing. It's honestly goddamn amazing. So. Yeah, these guys, and really, again, Johnny, because he is the number 1 contender, you know, allegedly. I don't really know what's happening with that officially. But, you know, he really is kind of carrying this. And, you know, honestly, if they were going to do this shit with Cross, why not just do it with somebody that I don't give a shit about, like Pete Dunne or something? But no, It's got to be the guy that's really been entertaining me.
It would have made even more sense for Pete Dunne because he's the only person in the history of NXT that actually has experience being assaulted with a car door.
Yeah, he could turn around and be like, wait, that's not how this works. And then he gets choked out. Oh, God.
And the thing is, I don't even like Dunn, but that would still piss me off.
Oh, yeah, because, look, I'm not that big on Dunn either, but, like, I don't know, at least the dude's style and stuff, like, I can get why he's perceived as a tough guy. Especially when you look at his United Kingdom Championship reign. Cross, like, even the tough guy stuff, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to front, guys. Everybody can kick my ass. Like I'm not a tough guy. I'm never going to win a bar fight. I'm never going to win a fight, period. But even with Cross, it's like, dude, there is some deep insecurities going on there. Like, do you want the number to my prospective therapist that I'm hoping to get hooked up with in a year? Like, let's talk this shit out. I don't know. Even Javaris and Johnny Gargano blocked him on Twitter. He said, kinda, Johnny Bitchcakes is solely carrying this feud. Again, you were told that Charlotte is better than you in an area by Ashton, and now you've been told by Javaris that Johnny Bitchcakes is carrying a feud. You're fucked, bruh. I don't know what else to say that could top that. You're fucked. So anything else?
I never thought that I would see the day that somebody would actually manage to eclipse Bobby Roode for worst NXT Championship reign ever, but here we fucking are.
Yeah, because at least Rude, to his credit, at least he tried to be entertaining in his own niche. Like, he knows what his heel personality is, and he tried to make it work, and he kind of played off of other people.
And his matches had actual psychology, which we definitely can't say for Cross.
Yeah, and, like, to Rude's credit, because I don't think you'd ever see this with Cross, because, again, he has to be the tough guy 24/7. Rude, despite having, like, that superior heel gimmick, you know, because of the money and everything, he was able to laugh at himself, which, you look at Shiba Inu with Nakamura. Like, he could have just brushed that off and be like, listen, Mark, or whatever, like Cross has been doing. But no, he's like Shiba Inu, and he allows himself to get worked by it. You know, thus being vulnerable and, again, having fun with it. Cross is such a stick up his ass. Like, it's
so
not
sad that you're making me miss Bobby Roode's championship run. It was so bad, and yet, compared to this, it's not that bad.
Yeah, like, I think we're just being really receptive to facts. I don't, which reminds me that Tyson Kidd was never NXT champion, and this fucking turd fucking was. I don't know. Everything's wrong. Everything's backwards.
Yeah. I feel just to be right again.
Dude, it's just me perfecting my Ashton impersonation as far as I'm concerned, but it still feels weird.
You son of a bitch.
It still feels so weird. But yeah, man, let's switch gears. Let's switch gears to our NXT review. And we open with the Triple Threat Women's Tag Team match. Look, man, I'm just going to keep it succinct with you. I had a lot of fun with this. I thought the finishing sequence was tripping balls in a good way. It seemed like every woman was doing something.
Yeah, I loved that. That was a lot of fun. I actually really liked the way that they actually made Dakota Kai feel kind of legit here before she took the L.
Yeah, and I actually like, too, because, again, I feel like I don't even know if they're telling this story. And see, guys, look, I'm just going to say as a quick aside, and I'm not trying to body WWE for no reason. Maybe it's a John problem, which is entirely possible. I never know what stories they're starting and stopping. Because, like, we've talked about before that, like, Dakota's totally going to turn on Raquel at some point and this and that.
Or vice versa.
And Raquel's going to be the baby's, or vice versa. But now I stick to the more Dakota turn on her because Raquel took a bullet for Dakota tonight, which is a total babyface move to me. Like, when you step in and take a move meant for somebody else, because she ate the first Io moonsault. And then Dakota still eats the pin, though, because of a moonsault. So I don't know. Like, obviously, they're keeping them out of the tag title picture because Raquel is women's champion. I don't even think she's defending that title at Great American Bash. Really wondering who the next challenger is going to be. That's why I even thought at one point that Shotzi was going to pin Raquel because I think she got her top rope senton on Raquel. And I'm like, holy fuck. Imagine you tell two stories at once because Ember just got the shot last time. So taking on both of them, in separate matches would make perfect sense to me.
I've also heard Vince might be interested in calling Shotzi up, maybe even to SmackDown.
Oh, NXT about to get rated, bro. If we thought it was hard to watch before with even all the good talent that does get featured, I don't know. We'll see how many call-ups Vince does.
I've heard Shotzi, Cross, Reed, and there was someone else. Maybe Scarlett, actually. I think, Scarlett would make sense with Cross. So I think those are the four names that I've been hearing.
Yeah, that's wild, man. But really fun match. I just got to be truthful. Look, I understand the story that they're telling, and I'm not going to be the one to come up here and be like, no, that story is wrong. But man, I hate throwing together tag teams, man. I just got to be honest. I love Io to death. I don't even mind Zoe, but like, can't you tell a little bit of a story? Can't it just be like, hey, maybe they failed in that attempt, and then you do a locker room segment where Io's not necessarily upset, but maybe she just says, no, now we work harder, or something like that, and then you do vignettes with them. I mean, I hate to give Raw credit for anything, but I've actually liked that they've done with Dana and Mandy, like them in the Performance Center or at a gym or wherever, and they're working on their moves. Now, granted, they get interrupted by Natalya and Tamina. It's not just them fully training, which I think would be refreshing, but at least it hints at these are what these women are doing to become a better team.
Along those same lines, again, to give Raw credit, which is not always easy to do, the Orton-Riddle storyline, I think, has been a really good way of kind of showing these two guys coming together and forming a team and kind of gaining chemistry over time and almost forming like a brotherhood in a way.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. And I don't know, man. Like, throwing together tag teams, I really should qualify my statement. I don't hate throwing together tag teams. I hate throwing together tag teams that, like, we're aware that they're throwing together tag team, but the product doesn't seem to acknowledge that because they just win immediately. Yeah. I want to see the struggle. I want to see. Now, obviously, you don't have to go that hard because these two don't have any animosity. Like, one of my favorite thrown together tag teams, obviously, Angle and Benoit, when they go after each other's throats, after every match. But, you got to show a little bit of that adversity. But I feel like I've been blathering on. Did you have anything you want to say about this match?
No, it was fun. I was not surprised at all that Io and Zoe won. I will say, though, there was a segment later. I don't know if it even involved these two, actually. So never mind. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and we'll talk about it when we get to it.
All right, man. Fair enough. Let's move on to the next segment. Actually, we can kind of skip this because it was just Gargano ambushing Cross, backstage. And we already kind of talked about all these segments in Heat of the Night, so we can just gloss over these. Let's talk about something very interesting. The breakout tournament's coming back in 2 weeks. Ashton, I'm going to hand it over to you, bro. How do you feel about all this?
I like it. I'm just very curious who all's going to be in it. I feel like it's going to be very cruiserweight-centric. You?
Okay, here's where your old pal John, everybody, is fucking stupid. And for all the jokes I make, I really shouldn't have opinions about anything. Because I tweeted that I wanted Gable Steveson to win this. I don't even think he's in WWE yet, because last I read, he wants to win Olympic gold before coming to WWE. Now, obviously, the Olympics are this year. So that kind of broke my heart a little bit. I'm not going to lie, because I saw that he was 21, and I thought, oh my God, WWE is getting him. That's almost some stardom shit. They're getting him really young. He's already athletically stacked. Let's fucking do it. I don't even think he's on the table. Because, again, I openly tweeted, if he was in this, I'd want him to win the whole fucking thing. And for the record, I do double down. If by some miracle it was like, oh yeah, Gable Stevenson's in this, give it to him. Give it to him, and then you know what? Because of the title change tonight, I had two ideas for Gable Steveson. God, I love all the energy I put into things that are never going to happen. My life is just a joke. I am a sad human being, and I deserve all the pity and scorn and
Stop shitting on yourself, please. Turn the faucet off.
No, I will not, sir. So my two ideas for him that I immediately thought of before my dreams came crashing down were you go after the North American Championship because I want to keep him the fuck away from Cross. Or, and I really like this idea until it was completely fruitless, he joins Diamond Mine, picks a guy from there, and they go after the tag titles. Because they did show the tag titles in the vignette, like any championship you want. Dude, if he threw his lot in with Diamond Mine after winning that tournament, and then he teamed up, say, with like Roddy or Hideki, and like they're like tag titles, I'd be so fucking there, dude. Like, hell yeah. But again, that's not happening. So you said it was going to be cruiserweight heavy. I honestly don't know what my opinion on it is as far as the composition of competitors.
I'm thinking like it's basically going to be like 2020 New Japan Strong Redux. Like we're going to get Blake Christian, we're going to get fucking Alex Zane, like probably Christian Casanova. I'm naming all of their previous names because I don't actually have all of their WWE names memorized. I know that Christian Casanova is Carmelo Hayes, and I know that Alex Zane is now Ari Sterling, I want to say.
Ari Sterling. He actually did have a match tonight against Cameron Grimes.
So good tonight. I really enjoyed seeing him work. Blake Christian, we just saw, what's his NXT name? Trey Baxter. I think those three guys are all probably going to be in it. I would not be surprised at all if Top Dollar was in it. I'm hoping that Hideki Suzuki is in it. I'm hoping Tyler Rust is in it, frankly, even though he did get a little bit of a push already. I mean, Alex Foster mentioned Elliot Sexton. It would be great if Brendan Vink would be in it, too. But I don't really think that they'll have a breakout tournament involving a guy that's already had like a little mini Raw run. But we'll see. It's possible. But yeah, I'm curious who's going to be in it. I think the number one guy that I'm most curious about, not necessarily trying to see win, but just curious about, is Hideki Suzuki, because the dude's 41 fucking years old, but he's like 6'3" and jacked. So let me see what he can do, because I've never heard, I've literally, before Javaris started wanting him to be a part of literally everything, I had no clue who the guy was. I'd never heard his name before. Like, the only reason that I've Suzuki name is because of Minoru, not Hideki.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think your predictions and some of the thoughts in chat, that makes perfect sense to me. I do like the idea of this tournament, though.
Do you know what I would absolutely love?
What's that?
A women's breakout tournament.
Yes. I'm at the point with the state of women's wrestling that anything you do for the men's, you should just copy for the women. That's why with the whole King of the Ring discourse, I'm 100% behind a Queen of the Ring tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only downside is it's WWE and Charlotte would win the first one.
I feel like you were about to say Carmella, and you wouldn't have been wrong about that either. Either Charlotte or Carmella would win the first one.
Well, I only say Charlotte because she literally is called the Queen.
Yeah. Oh God, WWE would go that far. I miss the days when I was optimistic enough to challenge you. Be like, no, Ashton, no, but no, we don't do that here. You're right. So yeah. I'm personally, just from what I've seen.
Ikemen Jiro would have to be in it too.
Okay, isn't he on like 205 Live?
I mean, if 205 Live is still a thing after all of the releases that just happened, yes, but I'm just gonna think of him as a cruiserweight. That's
fair, friend. That's fair.
I feel like WWE really just went like, oh, cruiserweights, 205 Live roster, they're expendable, cut them all.
Yeah, oh God. Foster, do you need a hug?
It was literally like, what was it? Nice, Davari, and the Bollywood boys are all just gone. And like, that was all that was left of 205 Live, I feel like.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, Foster. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just observing and maybe, having some creative liberties or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I offered the hugs, because you already offered the burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
August Gray got released too. Did Kurt Stallion get released? Because I wouldn't mind seeing him.
I don't think he got released. I think Kurt Stallion's fine.
I like Kurt Stallion to be in it.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought August Gray was a mistake, because I would have loved a guy like that to be in it, because he had that great arrival as Thatcher.
Stallion's going too. Okay, that's great.
Oh, damn. Damn, they fuck, man.
Let Ashante the Adonis be in it, please.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we'll have to see because the thing is, the only problem I have with this is like breakout would imply, oh man, I'm even looking to get on NXT TV because like none of those guys before I feel like we saw on NXT TV before the breakout tournament.
Yeah,
I
that's
could be
true.
mistaken though.
That's actually true. I wonder if I could find like a list of guys that are in the Performance Center, but not on TV yet. Here we go. Oh, who the fuck is Bobby Stevenson? Is there another Stevenson that I don't know about?
Parker Boudreaux actually did tweet about the tournament, so he might be in it.
Fuck that guy.
I'm just reporting to you what I've seen, bro.
I know. I'm just so dude. He literally hasn't been on TV yet, and I'm already fucking sick of hearing about him. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm just saying. Bobby Stevenson is like a 21, 22-year-old kid fresh out of college. He was an amateur wrestler at the University of Minnesota. That's Brock's alma mater, brother.
Damn.
He's listed at 285 pounds. What a chonker. I love it.
So wait a minute. Just to clarify, because you know I'm slow about some things sometimes. You said Bobby Stevenson. Is that separate from Gable Stevenson, or are we talking about the same person?
I'm assuming he is, yeah. Bobby Stevenson is actually listed on the Performance Center trainees roster right now. And
damn, okay.
I'm literally looking at a picture of him posing with Brock Lesnar. This is an article that got put out by a website called Spoiler Free Wrestling. I don't know. It's from January. And he has apparently ties to Brock Lesnar and could potentially be a Paul Heyman guy. So,
yeah.
I mean, fuck Parker Boudreaux. Give me this dude. What? No, but I know that there are other guys, though. Josh Briggs, dude. Josh Briggs is in the Performance Center still.
He would, if they don't put him in the tournament, I think that's a huge mistake. I mean, I'm going to be real with y'all, since the person that requested those fucking shows are no longer around, thankfully. Those NEW shows, I used to be bored to tears by them, but he was one of the guys that I actually stood at attention for.
Dude, I remember him and Christian Casanova were the two big guys that we loved, and they're both in WWE.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if Briggs isn't in your tournament, that's a major oversight. So,
dude,
yeah.
Here's another name that we've got to consider. Bronson Rechsteiner.
Ooh. Why does
Rick
that name sound
Steiner's
familiar?
son.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'd be excited to see that. I'd be excited to see that.
Dude, I would pay such good money for if this dude doesn't have a personality, or even if he does, but it's not like amazing. Let Scotty be his manager, please. Uncle Scott, are you kidding me? That's too good to be true.
Dude, if they gave him enough money, I would hope Scott would do that shit. Fuck
dude,
yeah, man.
Scott would have to pay them.
Yeah.
They don't want him at all. They have no interest in him.
Yeah, especially with how he's raised the company multiple times in interviews. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm going to try and just like be a little bit less wordy. I want to see Josh Briggs in it. I want to see Bronson Rechsteiner potentially. It might be too early for him. Dude, did you know that Joe Gacy was in WWE? What the fuck?
No, I did not know that.
What the hell? I didn't realize Joe Gacy was in WWE. When did he?
Joe Gacy's the same person I'm thinking.
NEW as well, by the way.
Beg pardon?
I'm pretty sure he was in NEW as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's a former tag team partner of Eddie Kingston.
That's fucking crazy.
Okay, anyway, so I'm going to say Josh Briggs. I'm going to not mention, I mean, God, it's stupid not to. So Josh Briggs, Joe Gacy, Cal Bloom is another one I want to see. Bronson Rechsteiner potentially if he's even remotely ready. Trey Baxter, Ari Sterling, Carmelo Hayes, and then I'm sure they're going to have some other guy that's like a pet project of theirs show up too.
All right, and you can have me down as having Parker in the tournament. I feel like he's definitely going to be in it, whether we like it or not. So, yeah, we'll have to see, but I'm very excited that they're doing this tournament again. And I will say, at the risk of being a bit cheeky and an asshole, It's funny that their vignette included everybody but the original winner, because we all know how that turned out. Let's hope that this second winner fares better for NXT.
Yeah, yikes. Big yikes. Good Lord.
Yeah. So we get more of these battery vignettes. If I recorded it correctly, and I'm pretty sure I did, the final total was 81% tonight.
Yes.
So next week
is probably going to be the debut of whoever it is, or return.
I wouldn't be surprised if that return main event at the first hour of Great American Bash. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the way that they've been structuring it, that would make perfect sense, because we'll probably get one early in the night and one right around the 9 o'clock hour, and that would be the 100% one.
Yes. So then we get Diamond Mine, Roderick Strong versus Asher Hale. Now, I do want to hand you the reins on this. Can I just say something, though, that's been on my mind that I don't want to lose?
I'm sorry, did you say Asher Hale?
Yes.
Who the hell is Asher Hale?
Did I get that name completely wrong? I could swear that's what was on the nameplate.
No. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know who he is. Anthony Henry. Apparently, this dude has actual wrestling experience. Wow.
I feel like he's been on 205, but, I don't watch 205, so...
Yeah, same. Absolutely. Apparently, he's actually lost to Cameron Grimes in, a squash-type match already, back in May. He's been on 205 Live at least once. He was on the May 14th episode. And then he was on the May 21st episode as well. And the May 28th episode. So he has been on 205 quite a bit. That explains why we don't recognize him. He's also 36 years old already. Holy shit.
Yeah. So what I just want to say before I hand the reins over to you, talk about this match and anything you have to say, I think Strong being a part of this, since we couldn't talk about it last week because of my family stuff, I think Strong being a part of this, and not necessarily being the leader, but he's certainly the most notable member of this group, so you might as well put him in that spot, next to Malcolm Bivens, of course, who I'm grateful for his humility in not wearing the tracksuit so that everybody wouldn't be distracted by his impeccable physique and keeping the attention on Roderick. What a fucking short king. But I find Strong being a part of this fascinating. I think it's a fascinating character beat, because I'm thinking to myself while I'm watching this, again, having missed last week, this just confirms to me that Roderick Strong, I want to put this delicately because I'm not trying to go hard on Roderick. Again, I'm talking about the character. He needs to be a part of a pack. I think he got so used to being in the Undisputed Era that being by himself kind of overwhelmed him. We know that he didn't get any wins when trying to ride by himself, because he just had Undisputed Era on the brain. And now he wins again tonight because he makes pretty quick work of Hale. Now that he's running with a pack again. So I don't want to say that Strong's a follower, because I don't think that's quite accurate. I just think that Strong, he got used to being a part of a greater dynamic, that being by himself, he just lost his footing. So even though I still think it's completely backwards that he would just come back to NXT when I feel like, especially Raw, I know I want to give SmackDown everything because it is a superior show right now, but I think Raw could really use a workhorse wrestler like Roddy on their product. Instead, he's back on NXT and he's a part of this group. But I dig it, though. And another thing, too, I dig that he used a submission finish that wasn't the stronghold. I thought that was interesting, too, that he kind of got, an arm bar or a butterfly lock, it almost looked like to me from a certain angle. So, yeah, man, like I said, I wanted you to talk about this, though, too. How'd you feel about this match? How do you feel about Diamond Mine, since we didn't get to talk to each other last week? How are you feeling about all of it?
I'm very excited about Diamond Mine. It was actually interesting to me. Earlier, you mentioned your boy Gable Steveson potentially teaming up with Roddy or Suzuki. You didn't mention Tyler Rust when you were going through the names, and I'm just I feel like I'm more excited about Tyler Rust than anyone, because he is I think the highest ceiling guy, given that he has shown that he can cut a promo. He's got a decent personality. He's got a good look. He's also the youngest member, I believe. Let me check that and make sure. Oh, he's actually not as young as I thought he was. Is he older or younger than Roderick Strong? He is younger than Roderick. So he is the youngest member of Diamond Mine. He's 34 years old. I thought he was in his late 20s, honestly. Roderick's 37, and Suzuki, like I said earlier, is 41 years old. So that definitely puts a damper on my enthusiasm about Suzuki. But if he's great, I'll still be excited about him. But Rust, man, I'm mostly excited about him. As far as the match goes, I got to be honest with you, I didn't pay a ton of attention to this match. There were a lot of other matches on the show that I paid more attention to, mostly just because, I didn't recognize the guy that Roderick was facing. I saw that it wasn't necessarily a completely one-sided match, and that Asher Hale did get some offense in, but not a lot. And I saw that Roderick won, and that's about it.
All right. Well, that's really all there is. And then Malcolm Bivens cut a promo saying Diamond Mine is open for business. You'll love to see it. Cameron Grimes versus Ari Sterling.
See, now this was fun.
Yeah, talk about it, man.
To me, this was one of the better matches of the night, actually. Ari Sterling, formerly known as Alex Zane, is one hell of a fun prospect to watch. I mean, you did mention last time we had a breakout tournament, everyone that was in it was not on TV yet. So I'd be very curious to see if they're going to put guys like Ari Sterling in it or not. I think he'd be a great candidate for it. I think that he's just a really good wrestler. I'm impressed by the way that he moves, not necessarily to the degree that I am by Swerve or anything like that, but he's definitely a good catch and somebody that could, kind of stick around for a while, putting on entertaining matches with guys like Cameron Grimes, like Roderick Strong, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm enjoying Ari Sterling, again, formerly Alex Zane. He was really like one of the highlights to me of New Japan Strong when we watched that. But yeah, Grimes gets a big win. I mean, it's not really a big win, but Grimes picks up the win, and then we have to deal with LA Knight bullshit.
Yeah, which we're going to completely gloss over.
Dude, I will say, I love how out of nowhere the cave-in felt tonight.
Yeah, I like the suddenness of it too, man. I thought it really worked in Grimes' favor, especially now that he's fully embraced being babyface, because he did have that spot in the match where he kind of psyched Sterling out saying, "Kiss my grits." So, it's very clear that he's made the transition fully now. So, yeah, I agree with you. That kind of suddenness and stuff, that's always going to get a pop from the crowd. Fuck LA Knight. Too long didn't listen because you value your lives. Great American Bash, they're going to be doing $1 million championship match. Grimes loses, he becomes LA Knight's butler, so I guess expect to see a lot of butler segments in 2 weeks. All right. With that said, we'll move on to the next segment. Zoe and Io interview, and then Candice and Indy interrupt. Candice and Indy's whole thing is, you guys aren't even a real team. You're not even friends. Zoe says, we don't have to be friends. We just have a respect for each other. And next week we're taking those titles. And then Candice advises Zoe, like, hey, be careful. Io's been known to be a very sore loser. And Io reminds Candice, hey, you've never beaten me. And next week we become champions. Candice did not like that at all. She said, we'll see about that. And Zoe just kind of tells Io, we got this next week. It's ours. It's ours. After that, we get Cole and O'Reilly in a segment. What did you think about this, Ashton?
This was okay. I feel like last week's was definitely more intense. And the build-up leading up to their, was it an unsanctioned match? I don't remember what match they had. I think it was unsanctioned. Was also better.
Yes.
I will say there was a moment in this that really popped me. But that was later on in the segment. So yeah, basically we get Kyle come out. Adam starts walking up talking shit. Samoa Joe's music hits. Joe comes out, basically says, oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just out here to make sure that the aggression that happened last week doesn't happen again this week. Gets in between them. They continue talking shit. Eventually Kyle manages to grab a fucking heel hook on Adam, and Joe just stands at it. Adam reaches up to Joe. Joe, get me out of this! Get him off me! Joe turns around and walks out, slowly walks up the ramp, and then tells the security guys that he brought out, go ahead, go get him.
So I already expressed my more marky opinions on Twitter. Adam Cole was assaulted. Kyle O'Reilly should be fined and suspended, and NXT should probably be sued. Putting that aside, I thought this was a really well done segment. I do agree with you that the build up last week, from what I saw, because I did watch the YouTube clip on NXT's YouTube channel, and end of the unsanctioned match was better. But I actually admire them, like, cooling it down a bit, because they recognize, like, hey, this is TV. This isn't like Peacock or anything. We're not trying to sell subscriptions. So you can bring it to a simmer a little bit. Plus, because this is two, with rivalries like this, there's always a trilogy, sometimes even 4 matches. So we know this isn't going to be the last time they face off. I'm fully expecting Cole to get the win next week after this. I was already expecting it when the match was announced. This kind of sealed it for me. So yeah, no harm done. And Joe as an authority figure is great, because I love that it keeps Regal in the position he's in. And Joe gets to be physical at times. I guess while they're tentatively waiting maybe one day to clear him, I have no idea. maybe Joe is just going to beat, because I also hear that he's scouting talent now for NXT, which I think is a huge get for them. And so, yeah, Joe's in a really good spot. These guys are doing quality work. The match next week should be a lot of fun. No complaints here. So moving on from that, we get a brief promo from Tian Sha, pretty much saying that Jay Gatlas and Mercedes Martinez, they're done for because you don't disrespect Tian Sha. Again, another battery vignette, 71%. Again, it ended the night at 81%. Hit row backstage as Swerve is preparing for his big moment in the sun, which, God, I can't wait to talk about that. Then we get the tag match. We're just going to skip over that because that was already your heat of the night, and what more can you really say than the big thing to come out of it? Then we get MSK and Ciampa and Thatcher, and bro, I do like handing you the reins a lot because I know how much I talk. I just want to get this out before I forget it. I have to reiterate again, man, I kind of hate how this crowd is kind of turned on MSK. I feel like they don't boo them all the time, but I still feel like more often than not that they get booed, especially in talking segments, more than they should. It's a bit concerning to me. How did you feel about it? You think I'm overreacting?
I don't know what the fuck's going on here, because honestly, how can you listen to Ciampa and Thatcher and be like, yeah, those are the guys I want to root for? What the fuck's wrong with them?
I actually kind of wanted to turn on the arena. I'm not going to lie. Like, I know that's a me problem, but I was hearing them, like, boo MSK, and I'm like, fuck off. Like, I don't want these boomers as tag champs. No offense, Timmy, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like, dude, they were cheering for Ciampa hard.
Yeah. And I'm like, why? Because, like, even if we didn't know the stuff about Ciampa, which I'll admit definitely informs my opinion, I can't help it. I'm only human, right? Like, his stock, just from a character perspective, his stock is nowhere near what it was. Even, like, when he was pursuing Cole as a babyface for the NXT Championship. Nowhere close, I feel like. I mean, with this crowd, they pop for him so hard, you feel like he never left that level. But to me, he very clearly has. So I was perplexed by it, honestly. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't know if I want to understand what's happening.
It's like canned reactions.
Maybe. I don't know, though. I wouldn't put it past this crowd to throw their lot in with Ciampa, even though, again, it did surprise me. But MSK, like, hell, even Ciampa kind of threw the positive reaction in their face, holding the microphone up, and he was smirking. But see, though, I have to blame NXT for this in a way because, and I feel like I, in particular, have really made this a sticking point on the podcast when we talk about it. I like MSK. I'm an MSK fan, but I will always stand by that. I think it was too much, too fast. They have the ability and the talent, and I know you and I have also said, to keep it consistent, that if the act is over, push them. But, like, I feel like I might have finally met an exception because they just literally walked in the door. At least when Fiend won the Universal title, because I know that was the first act that we really had this kind of discourse about, at least he had that exposure of a couple months before winning the title. These guys, it's like, oh, we expect you to get over instantly. Let's just give you everything. Let's make you the face of the tag division. And I don't necessarily blame NXT for taking the gamble, but I don't think they're getting the support that they should be. At least from my vantage point, maybe chat would disagree. I'd love to hear it. But I just say I can't wait for GYV to be properly built up, that you know the rematch is coming, and they get to vie for the tag titles, because I'll really be rooting for them to win it. So, yeah, I really don't know what else to say about this. MSK was really confident. They said, you guys got to remember that you're the challengers, and we're going to remind you why we're the champions. I like that. They slap Ciampa. Ciampa gets up in their face like the creepy boomer he is, clearly taking notes from the quintessential boomer Joe Biden, and tells them, hey, boys, you bring your pride and you bring those tag titles, because next week we're taking both. God, I'm really starting to get over this macho tough guy bullshit.
I feel like Tommaso Ciampa is the type of guy that thinks Joe Biden is a communist.
Yeah, you're probably right. Jesus Christ, we're in hell. We're in hell. That's what this is. All right. After that segment, what came after this? Oh, that's right. William Regal backstage. And honestly, I had the complete antithetical reaction to this segment because isn't Sarray just the politest? Oh my God. Regal's giving a rundown to Great American Bash. Sarray knocks on the door. She's like, oh, Mr. Regal, I want a match against somebody like Tony Storm. And Regal's just like, oh, I'll take it under advisement. She's just like, thank you. And she's smiling. And God damn it.
She was so cute.
I know, dude.
She's so sweet.
I was like, and I'll say it again, nobody could ever replace Kyrie, who I remind everybody again is still doing good works out in the world. Just became a mental health trainer and everything else because I would want Kyrie to be my count 1,000%. But Saturday, man, what? To be my counselor. I'm sorry if that didn't fully go through. Kind of talk me through the problem. Yeah, like, goddamn. I'd wait 5 years for Kyrie to be my therapist because you can't beat quality.
Yeah, true. Facts.
But Saturday, fucking adorableness personified. Frankie Monet is still my NXT Women's Champion. Let us not get it twisted in this household. But would I applaud, be giddy, maybe make some weird squeeze sounds from the back of my throat that I didn't even know were possible if Saturday won the title? Probably, yeah, I'm a really weird egg. So, Saturday, you deserve all the best things. Thank you for taking the taste of Ciampa out of my mouth. You're wonderful. We love you. Oh, my God. And because we've already talked about the Battery vignette and Gargano QAnon cross, there is only one thing left to talk about. And Ashton, you know what? I feel like it's appropriate that you talk about this first because I am a Swerve fan, certified, but I feel like you have been an advocate of this dude, even going as far back as Lucha Underground, far harder than I've been. I feel like this is your moment in the sun, my man. Let's talk about that North American Championship match. And plus, unlike me, you were a real professional, and you didn't miss this because I did have to go to the bathroom towards the end of this. I'm kicking myself for it. What were your thoughts on this match?
Well, as far as the match itself goes, I thought it was really good. I think that Swerve... Here's the thing. How do I start here? This wasn't flawless because there was so much story into it that doesn't make sense to me because Bronson Reed is supposed to be the face, and yet this whole story feels like Swerve trying to overcome this obstacle. Because how long ago was it that Swerve faced Reed and got squashed? And then a little while later, faced Reed again with his new heel instincts. And you know, he's got a change of attitude. And he used the rope to do the head thing and like everything. And it didn't matter. He still lost to Reed. And now he's got a crew. And only now is he able to overcome Bronson Reed. It feels like, in a way... I get that they're trying to say that, like, Swerve could never beat Reed without help. And I don't like that at all, but I'm glad that Swerve won it all. But at the same time, I don't like that there's this kind of narrative of, like, Swerve needing to, like, fight from the ground up and fight from underneath and overcome this obstacle as a heel. I don't like that. There's inconsistency there that bothers me. But that being said, this was a great match. And it was an even better finish. I am so fucking happy. I actually predicted this. When Swerve challenged Reed, and we found out that was going to be main eventing the show tonight, I was like, holy shit. Bronson Reed has been on main event. There are rumors that Vince McMahon is at the Performance Center tonight. Are they seriously going to have Swerve win the North American title from Reed here with help from Hit Row, and then have Reed get called up to the main roster, Raw or SmackDown? And it's looking like my little prophecy that I kind of imagined might be coming to fruition. Because we had a really... Dude, did you see because you said you saw highlights. Did you see the way that Top Dollar went flying over the barricade through the panel?
I'm actually just looking at a tweet gif of that from the WWE NXT account.
Dude,
like right now.
Shit. I don't think I've ever seen anybody... even close to that size, fly the way that Top Dollar did in that GIF.
Did you see, just to kind of, since we're having a little back and forth, did you see Top Dollar's interview about Hit Row? Like, happened a few weeks ago?
No.
Dude, I love how this dude's mind works about the business already. Because he's like, you know, the whole Hit Row thing, what makes it work is that we're all legitimately, like, we have other stuff going on, obviously, because Top Dollar's done, like, a lot of shit. I think, wasn't even an NFL player?
Yes.
Like, he's done a lot of stuff. But he's like, we're all genuine fans of music, and we're all, like, involved in music. So he said Triple H pulled us aside, and he's like, you know, do you mind if Swerve joins you guys? And, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, it makes sense, because Swerve, you know, he even has a YouTube channel where he puts up songs. I think I've even heard a song or two from Swerve. And so... I love gimmicks like this can work so well. I mean, I hate to be that guy, and it's funny that I'm bringing this name up, But I feel like that's a similar way to how John Cena got started, because I think I've heard the stories where like he would be rapping backstage and somebody was like, hey, you should do that on TV. So these guys are already about it, and that's what I fucking love about these guys. And to your point about Todell, I've been looking at the GIF like 50 times now. That was fluid and flawless as fuck, that bump. Like, these guys are so good, dude. They're no joke.
Dude,
like,
you realize Top Dollar is 6'5" and over 300 pounds?
That's ridiculous. No, that's not even ridiculous. That's full-blown ridiculous, bro. That's fucking ridiculous.
Dude, he took a spot that you would expect, like, a Bronson Reed to do to, like, a Johnny Gargano. Not someone Bronson Reed's size and actually bigger than Bronson Reed to be able to take. That's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then fucking Ashanti comes over and he's just like, are you okay, bro? And his reaction was so funny, I'm sorry. And Reed grabs him by the fucking pants and just chucks him into Top Dollar over the barricade and then gets back barely enough into the ring so that Swerve can hit that like single leg kick that he does. And that like drapes him over the rope and allows Swerve to get a 450 onto Reed while Reed was draped from the rope face down. So it was like a 450 bulldog into the mat almost. And that actually got Swerve the 1, 2, 3. We have a new North American champion. I am so happy. Dude, you can look in the Discord, in the live wrestling discussion channel. I lost my shit. Like I had said earlier, I want to believe 100%, but my brain is telling me 0% because I had asked, what do y'all think the odds are that Swerve wins here with help from Hit Row and Reed gets the call up? And like Alex Foster said 60%, Sean Carpenter said 30%. And I was like, oh, I want to believe 100%, but my brain's telling me 0%. And like the want to believe was like what my heart was telling me, right? And then when Swerve won, I said, yes, yes, holy shit, my heart. Because it was like my heart got what it wanted instead of my brain winning out again. And I was so fucking happy. And I was like blown away. And maybe a tear might have escaped, but like it was so cool. I'm so happy for Swerve. He's an incredible talent. Dude, like, I think this is the one and only, the one singular example, and probably we're never going to get another example of this again, of somebody winning a championship in WWE that should have but didn't win a championship in Lucha Underground.
Yeah. Yeah. Because wasn't Killshot a former Trios champion at best? Wasn't that like all he did?
The Trios titles were the only championship he ever held. He never held anything singles.
Okay, guys, so here's the thing. I already said that this segment belongs to Ashton because he has been a big fan of Swerve for a long time. I, however, did say that I'm also a big Swerve fan. So I just want to say this to kind of close out the review portion of the show before we get to high spots, low shots. I'm going to speak from a very vulnerable place. Wrestling's been depressing the fuck out of me lately, with the exception of Joshi, because Stardom is just setting the world on fire. Very proud of Stardom and those women. Immensely talented. And it feels really fucking good to see somebody that really deserves this spot that they're in actually get it. Now, granted, I don't know much about Swerve as a person. Maybe it's better that way. That's something I've quickly learned about a lot of wrestlers. You know, the less I know about you, the better, probably. But he's an immensely talented dude. Nobody does what he does in the ring. And at a time when you've got garbage being platformed that I personally can't stand either on a personal level or professional. Just go back and look at our deconstruction of Cross on this episode and the last, couple episodes. It's just so nice to have something like this. Because, again, I was in the bathroom when the rest of the match happened. I was going to try and be fast enough because I know NXT usually goes after 10. I didn't really want to miss anything. So then I'm watching the replays because, I want to be able to do my part and carry it. I never want to leave Ashton with too much. I know he feels the same way. And I saw the 450 spot, and I'm waiting for Reed to kick out. And when the hand hit the mat for 3 on the replay, my mouth did that whole O of surprise, like, holy shit.
Did you surrender, Cobra?
No, because, like, I feel like surrender, Cobra, I've always associated that with things like, oh my God, this is so bad, I'm overwhelmed by it, I might as well just give into it and maybe it'll hurt less. No, I did the Cobra hug to this shit, brother. I hugged this shit tight to me. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then when the camera cut to Hit Row on the stage, I'm like, finally, something fucking good here. Just to see an act, because again, I mentioned Top Dollar's interview. These guys get it. Ashanti the Adonis, great act, even from the little spurts that we've seen him in. BFAB, I think they're holding back until she's fully ready, which I think is smart.
I'm looking forward to it, though, because she's got the personality already in place.
Absolutely. And then you got Swerve, who is just so fucking good in that ring, man. And not just in the ring, because I know, like, as I've gotten older, I've said it before, I appreciate talkers more now that I've gotten older. I appreciate guys. Swerve can talk. He's got a charisma about him, whether he's a babyface or a heel. It's always Swerve's house, and Swerve's house is always the coolest place to be. And so at a time when I've just been so utterly depressed and dejected with most of wrestling and disconnected, it's just really nice to see Hit Row get this, and I hope that this is the first stop of many, because let me tell you something, guys. If GYV, who I will stand by, absolutely deserve a run with those NXT tag titles, if it ain't their number that's being called, give it to Adonis and Top Dollar. Honestly, yes. like give it to those guys, and then I don't know where BFAB fits, because between Frankie Monet and then you would need a babyface champion in between, and obviously Sade stole my heart just by being nice to Mr. Regal when Cross made him fucking cry. She's in a weird position, but you know what? It's up to, I don't want to say it's up to her, because that's one of those WWE apologist talking points, but we'll see how she does. I'll put it that way, because then we can really reassess accordingly. But yeah, Hit Row doing Hit Row things.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. I had a thought during the mixed tag match, the Xia Li match, that I think would kind of ring really, really true, and I think people would really appreciate the point, and maybe even like help people to understand what happens in WWE. I feel like in NXT, everybody is allowed to believe that they are the main character of the story, right? Or that they're the main character of a story, right? Like in NXT, everybody's given something to do almost. Everybody is kind of told, like, you can do what you want to do. We'll kind of make it work for us. You can kind of be creative as long as it kind of fits within the lens of what we're doing. You kind of get more reign and more creative control, and you get kind of the ability to be yourself in a way, but also kind of everyone gets a little bit of a push to some degree. Everyone gets featured in some way, it feels like. And then on Raw, it's made perfectly clear that there are only like 3 or 4 main characters and everyone else is a fucking NPC. And that's got to be just crushing.
Yeah. I actually feel like that was described really well. Yeah, I really don't even know what to add to that. So congratulations to Swerve. I will say the most deserved title win. Keeping it to WWE, because I feel like Tam really earned her white belt win, but definitely the most earned title win in WWE in recent memory to me. That dude has deserved some hardware for the longest time, and it's about fucking time that it found its way around his waist. Yeah, at least. I would agree with that. All right. With that said, that was NXT. Time for high spots and low shots. Gonna go for the low-hanging fruit here. My low shot, Bronson Reed. Only person to lose a championship on this show tonight. That's a steep loss. Yeah. Who's your low shot?
I mean, it's got to be Johnny Gargano, right? He came into tonight thinking like, oh, I'm going to outsmart Karrion Kross at every turn. I'm going to win the title that way. Kross shut that shit down real quick.
Yeah, unfortunately. High spot for me, Io and Zoe. Emphasis on Io. Woman took a break, comes back, and she's already in another championship conversation. That's just how Io does business.
I see what you did here.
Nobody's touching her. Yeah. So who's your high spot?
Well, considering you already threw the ball up and it's practically touching the backboard, I'm going to jump up and get my alley-oop, my slam dunk, my fucking layup. It's Swerve.
I would have laughed so hard if you were like somebody else, like it's Cameron Grimes or some shit. I would have been like, oh, but no, man, you earned that one. I'm really happy for you because again, you've been behind Swerve for so long. And I
Dude,
definitely wanted you to have that one.
He was number one on my fave 5 last time we did one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know I like to turn up and get crazy, but I'm also sensible enough to know, like, who you really like and behind, and I always want you to have those moments because I know you're always selfless when it's my turn at bat, and you already know if fucking Morrison wins Money in the Bank in a few weeks, I'm gonna monopolize that shit and explode. But that's still a little ways away. Tonight, though, good guys win another one. Good job, Hit Row. And you know what, too? One final note, because whether it's call-ups or whatever the hell, it's smart. You know, baby faces shouldn't really have long reigns. I guess when you look like Bronson Reed, you can make an exception. But now that Swerve has it, he's a heel, and he's packing heat, you know, with Hit Row. I'm hoping, dude, he holds that for a good 6-7 months, maybe even 8-9. I'm not going to be greedy. I am hoping, though, 6-7 months. You know, let's fucking get it, because I'm telling you, that it's been a long time since I've been this excited about a North American champion, because even Johnny doing the whole thing with Priest, I was like, like, I'm excited about this, because the dude's a fucking workhorse.
Too, I really want Adam Cole to challenge this North American title run. I want Cole Swerve so fucking bad. That's like a dream match of mine, and I feel like we've never seen it.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great match, bro. I really feel like there are so many possibilities with Swerve as North American champion. Hell, he might even lose that title to somebody that hasn't even been on NXT yet, if they keep it on him long enough. But he's gonna make everybody he works with. He's gonna be that great heel champion that has the great matches, looks just vulnerable enough to give that credence to the babyface, and then he's gonna pull it out. Like, he's gonna be an amazing champion. I don't even need to see it. I don't even need to see the first title defense to gauge it, because I've seen his whole body of fucking work to know it. He's gonna kill it. I'm so excited for this title. I don't know if I've ever been more excited about a North American champion than Swerve holding that fucking gold. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah to all of this. All right, guys. This has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-host and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely you are to the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Be sure to subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications so you never again miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Emphasis on the Patreon. You donate $1, you get additional Q&A questions. Q&A will be July 29th next month. Non-Patreon donors get 3 Q&A questions. If you donate $1, you get 2 additional questions for a total of 5. However, if I were you, I would just donate a whole $3 because you get the additional Q&A questions and you get access to the TWitWoW Discord, where you get to see moments like Ashton losing his fucking mind over Swerve becoming the North American champion. You know you want to be a part of all those feely moments. It's fucking wonderful. And we do Among Us Mondays. I was very turned up at this last one. I hard accused Ashton of something, and the funny thing was, I was right. It's probably regressed my personality by like 5 years, because it's like, wow, my toxicity was actually vindicated. But that's my problem. Donate the $3. Join the TWitWoW Discord. Have a great time with all of us. You know you want to. And until then, follow us all on social media as well. I am at John_TWitWoW. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. You just reply to the pinned tweet. I see them. Ashton sees them. We get them written down. It's that simple. And again, you donate that $1. You get up to 5 Q&A questions. If you don't, 3. So you can make it work. Ashton's pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule for the month. Now, let's see. Have you put up the July one? No, this is still June. That's okay, though, because
I will
still
put
in
up the July
June.
one when it is July.
Okay, then. Man, puffing that chest out. It's not July yet. The schedule's erroneous. All right? Damn. But to finish out June, guys, today is the 29th. So tomorrow will be the 30th. We may, now it's not on the schedule, but we may, because we're playing it by ear, have another Stardom live reaction for the June 26th show. They have been putting up these shows hella fast. I'll be really curious where it is when I wake up tomorrow, or hell, even before me and Ashton break off. Because, bro, I'm not even wrong in saying that they got the full show up last night before you and I even broke off, right? Like around 3 in the morning or whatever. So they've been really quick. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and that'll be at 5 p.m. tomorrow if they do. If not, we've got nothing Wednesday because Mark's Patreon request has moved to next Monday at 4. Should be great. We'll do that, and then we'll get nice and prepped for Among Us Mondays. Thursday, again, keeping it open for a potential Stardom reaction. Ashton is here that it could be the June 27th show. Who knows? Honestly, who knows with Stardom? Again, they've been uploading at such a ridiculous rate, and he has that for 6, so I think we'll just keep the 6 times since we have nothing else going on Thursday. Friday would be our SmackDown review at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So that is that's pretty much the rest of the week because we have the weekend, July 3rd and July 4th, off. Nothing going on there. So that is the rest of the week. So most immediately, guys, we could potentially see you again at 5 p.m. tomorrow for the Stardom June 26th show. If not, that'll most likely be Thursday. And then the June 27th show would probably be Friday, I'd guess. But, of course, we'll keep you all up to date on that. So until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Thank you for inviting us into your computer screens. Until we see each other again, tune in. Peace out.